Hello everyone, welcome to the African Language Conversations channel. Good to see you. In this video, I want to start reacting to the comments that were made by readers who read Muthoni Thangwa's article, Children Should Be Taught in Mother Tongue. So in that article, Muthoni Thangwa was in favor of using African languages for teaching children in lower primary school, and she reminded readers that that is official government policy, and it's a policy that has been in place for several decades. So it's not a new policy. As I said in my previous video, in the video where I read the entire article, I said that readers reacted to that article in many cases in very negative ways. So there were some of them were not receptive, were not in favor of that article. Some of them were just dismissing the article as not relevant. So the first comment that I want to talk about today, that I want to react to today, is this one here. So this reader says, nonsense. First, start writing this column in your mother tongue. As much as we want all kids to be taught in their mother tongues, let's think of where they will use it for the benefit of building the nation. Kenya has several ethnic languages and dialects. How will it help one when working in the diaspora due to lack of jobs back home? Kenya is a human resource export zone. Let us speak to our kids in mother tongue at home, and let them learn in school different languages, different international languages. And remember that exams are never set in your mother tongue. Yeah, so this response or this comment is, yeah, I don't want to be very, very rude to the person who wrote it, but it's it leaves a lot to be desired. So who, for example, Muthoni was writing this article to all Kenyans, and based on the current policies, language policies in place, one of the ways of reaching many Kenyans is to use English. So English is still the official language, one of the official languages. So you can't change that now. It may not be the best policy, but it's the one that is in place now. So one of the ways of reaching Kenyans now is using English, and she could have also used Kiswahili, but there are very few Kiswahili newspapers. I think there's only Taifa Leo, and she's writing in an English paper. So how would you expect her to write in mother? So that first part of the comment, I think, is irrelevant. It is possible for her to write in mother tongue if her audience is people who speak her language, her mother tongue, but that's not the case. So if she's trying to reach as many Kenyans as possible, and especially those who are always in favor or who always think about education as only happening in English, as only able to happen in English. I think that's the audience that she was targeting, and this person who made this comment is actually one of those that should read the article carefully and try to think about the importance of using mother tongue. So, and then they also say, or this reader also says that that it might be okay, like maybe everyone wants their kids to learn in mother tongue, which is also not true. He says, or they say, let's think where they will use it for the benefit of the nation. There are definitely many ways many ways in which mother tongue can be used to develop, can be used for nation building. If this language, or if the mother tongues are used in their local or in their homelands, in the area where they are spoken by the majority of people, then use them to teach children about nation building, about the importance of just using their language where people understand it, and use it to teach other people, to teach the kids about other ethnic groups within the country. And I think it's easier to reach them. It's easier for the kids to understand when you talk to them in their mother tongue. Tell them that their language and their ethnic group is just part of the other. It's a small part of the country that is Kenya. There are other 40 different ethnic groups, and that 40 different 40 or more languages, different languages. So in doing that, you are helping the kids understand like this concept or this idea well. Tell them that using your language or using your mother tongue, it should not be used to discriminate against others. It's not what it should be. This is just a tool for use within our area. It's for our benefit. It's for the use of kids to understand lessons when they first go to school, and it can actually be developed it can be developed to be used for other purposes as well. This reader seems to be happy that Kenya exports like its manpower to the West or to foreign lands. Why would anyone want to do that? Why is this reader then saying that the only Kenya is always going to be a manpower exporter? You can't send everyone to other countries to look for jobs. If you are lucky, you are going to be able to send maybe I don't even think it's possible to send a quarter of your population to foreign lands. What is going to happen within Kenya? What are you doing about that? You need to think about ways of developing your country, ways of creating jobs. Not just be content with the fact that your people speak English, or they speak German, or they speak Chinese, and because of that they can find jobs in UK, in Canada, in US, or in China. That's not the way you want to develop your country. It's not the way to go. You need a country that can also develop, can stand on its feet, and can also attract people from other parts of the world. So why would you want to just be exporting people to other countries? It's not sustainable. You need to think about ways of developing your own country, and limit, actually when you do that, maybe you're going to limit the number of people who go outside to look for jobs. Make your country an attractive location for other people to come in. Don't just think about exporting people to other countries. That's not sustainable. So you want to think think creatively about strengthening the local economies, and this is where the local languages have a big role. It's just that people don't think about, or Kenyans don't think about ways of first strengthening the local economies, the village economies. And these languages are still vibrant there, they're still spoken there. So why not think about ways of creating economies around, strengthening economies around those languages? Why not think about that? An example, one example that comes to mind that I think has helped and can keep boosting local languages or mother tongues in the way Tangwa called them are the local FM stations. Look at what they've done. They use the local language, they use the mother tongues to broadcast or to run their programs. They use the local languages, and who is employed in those radio stations? Not many people, but those few get employed there speak their languages. They're the ones that speak. They speak the languages, and they have a job now. They have jobs. So, are there other ways of creating similar opportunities where people can use their mother tongue? Are there such opportunities? My sense is that there are, but we haven't, or Kenyans have not really given this serious thought. Just think of ways of strengthening the languages. If these languages are taught in schools, then there's need for people who will write books. So there's need for writers in these languages, people who write text in these languages. The policy has been in place for a while, but it doesn't mean that it's been applied. It's not been implemented. No books have been written. The policy has not been consistently implemented. So, but if it were implemented, there would be need for writers in these languages, and yeah. So this the idea that Kenya will only benefit from people moving to other areas to look for jobs, other countries to look for jobs is neither here nor there. It's not something that should be pursued. And then the reader also says, let us speak to our kids in mother tongue at home and let them learn in school in different international languages. Again, that's another problem that Kenya has. When you say you don't want children to learn in their languages, and you also don't want children to learn or to learn their languages as subjects, it's not true that a child is going to speak the language. It's not enough to just speak the language to them at home. It's not enough. There's a lot of things that they need to learn about the languages. Writing, for example, they need to be able to write their languages. A lot of people can speak their languages, but they can't write them. It's also important to learn to write the languages. And given the fact that many kids spend more time at school than at home, it means they're never going to learn enough of their mother tongue. Speaking to them at home, they come maybe for an hour, a few hours, they go to bed. How are you going to speak to them? How are you going to expose them to the real language, the enriched language? Like in the past, people used to, older people and people who are very good in the language, they used a lot of proverbs. Now, kids, like if you only speak to them a few hours or maybe few minutes per day, they're never going to pick that up. So there's need for more than just speaking to them at home. And I know people are going to say, yeah, then there is also a place for these other languages. I'm not saying that English is not important. English is important, and which is why, like, as children are learning in their languages, as they learn their own language, they're also learning English as a subject. And they are also learning Kiswahili as a subject. Yeah, so maybe in some places Kiswahili can be used as a language of instruction, but it's also important to have a place for the local languages. As things are now, things I think are not, implementation of the policies that are in place are not, is not great. So it is important to think of ways of strengthening the economies of the languages. When it comes to development, when it comes to jobs, please start thinking about local solutions, local ways of developing and strengthening the economies first. Don't start by thinking about the diaspora. Don't start with thinking about the West. That's not a sustainable solution. It's going to serve only few people. What about the rest? What about the most people? When you just don't help the children learn to become masters of the language, they're not going to do much with it. There's so many things that you can do with the language. I'll stop here for now, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye bye.